Assalamualaikum, I Shubana Mahmudul Hassan and welcome back to Islamic Finance at the Capital. Today's episode is slightly different from any other episodes of Islamic Finance at the Capital. Well, I can say today's episode is very unique and slightly refreshing. This is because usually for all the other Islamic Finance episodes, we tend to invite prominent Islamic finance figures as interviewees, the names that have been around in the Islamic finance arenas for decades. However, this time we want to hear the voices of the younger generations of Islamic finance, the ones that will be replacing these prominent figures in times to come. The ones with a more fresh insights on Islamic finance, or I can say the ones that have not been diluted or too much exposed with the conventional financing influences. So today we invite over two very bright and young Islamic economists and Sharia scholars in the making, with a firm, noble vision and aspirations to bridge the gap between the Islamic finance ideals and realities, with deep expectations that one day Islamic finance can flourish positively towards a fully Sharia-compliant Islamic finance industry. Let me now introduce and welcome Dr. Hafaz Furqani and Muhammad Mahboubi Ali to Islamic Finance at the Capital. Welcome. But before we begin with the session for today, let me give a brief introduction of Dr. Hafaz and also Mahboubi. Dr. Hafaz Furqani is currently a researcher at International Sharia Research Academy for Islamic Finance, ISRA. He receives PhD of Economics in the year 2012 as well as Master of Economics in 2006 from the Department of Economics, IIUM. His bachelor degree is in Sharia Muamalah from the State Islamic University, Sharif Hidayatullah, Jakarta, 2002. Right, Hafaz? Hafaz has extensively written and published articles in the areas of Islamic economics, banking and finance in academic journals, as well as newspapers and magazines. His paper, Challenges in the Construction of Islamic Economics and Discipline, has awarded first prize winner at Kuala Lumpur Islamic Finance Forum essay competition in 2011. Yeah. His PhD thesis, The Foundations of Islamic Economics, a philosophical exploration of the discipline, has recently awarded gold medal at the 2012 International Islamic University Malaysia Research, Invention and Innovation Exhibition. Welcome, Dr. Hafaz, to Islamic Finance at the Capital.
Okay, thank you.
And now we'll go to Muhammad Mahboubi Ali. Muhammad Mahboubi Ali is a researcher at ISRA as well. He received a bachelor degree in Islamic economics from Islamic Business School, Tazkiyah, Indonesia, and Chartered Islamic Finance Professional CIFP from INSAF, the global university in Islamic finance. Prior to joining ISRA, Mahboubi was an assistant lecturer at the Islamic Business School, Tazkiyah. He has written some book chapters and published several articles in magazines and also newspapers. He was also the features editor for several magazines and bulletins in Indonesia. Welcome, Mahboubi, to Islamic Finance at the Capital. So let me now ask the question to Dr. Hafaz. After 4 decades of the establishment of Islamic finance, where do you see the direction that Islamic finance has taken presently?
Okay, based on the facts that the size of industry currently is worth more than $1 trillion US, and if we see the growth rate of the industry, which is about 10 to 15% per year, so this shows that the development of industry is very promising in the futures. In addition to that, if we see the participation in the industry, so the non-Muslims society is also attracted to this Islamic banking and finance. So this shows that the future is really bright. Nevertheless, if we talk about the future directions of Islamic banking and finance, there are some concerns that need to be taken into our account.
Like for example?
Like for example, the ideals, the initial ideals of the establishments of Islamic banking and finance, and also if you talk about the goals that we want to achieve, as implied in the concept of Maqasid al-Sharia. So these are some concerns that need to be taken into account for the future direction of the industry.
Okay, talking about the concerns that you mentioned, there also have been many ongoing debates that said that there has been too much focus on the form over the substance in Islamic finance. So how do you see the present focus on the form over the substance will actually hamper the future growth of Islamic finance?
I think it shows the very pragmatic approach in developing Islamic banking and finance. And to some extent, this has facilitated viable operation of Islamic banking and finance, whereby we attempt to modify the current structure or the current products, the conventional products, into an Islamic forms. But nevertheless, peoples are now questioning about the Islamicity and also the genuineness of these Islamic products, the modified Islamic products. And we see also in practice some discrepancies occurs between what is perceived based on the Islamic contract itself and the reality of the products. So I think for future development, all these need to be reconsidered so that we could have a more genuine product development.
So all these areas have to be taken into consideration to ensure the future success of Islamic finance.
Yes, for sure, because we want to have a distinct product which is based on the Islamic concept itself and also based on the value system of Islam.
Okay, as for Mahbubi, the same thing. These ongoing debates about there is too much focus on the form over the substance in Islamic finance. What do you have to say about these aspects in regard to the future success and future growth of Islamic finance?
Yeah, I extremely agree with Dr. Hafaz's statement just now that basically in the current practice of Islamic banking and finance, the stressing of Sharia compliance is more toward fulfilling the technical requirement of contract or form of contract. So we can see the Sharia committee decide to approve the one particular product, whether it is Sharia compliant or not. It is based on the contract approach. For me, for the future direction of Islamic finance, it is absolutely not enough. We need to go beyond the form, because we can see that
we need to extend beyond what is being practiced now.
Yes, of course. Substance is more in line with what we call the objective of Sharia or the Sharia that has been indicated by Dr. Hafaz. So, of course, for the operational side, technical side, form of course is more viable and is more relevant, because we can see that most of the product in the market are merely replicating and some of the modification with conventional product. So form of course is more relevant to that. But to have a genuine, like Dr. Hafaz mentioned just now, a genuine and value proposition of Islamic finance that distinguish with conventional counterpart, for stressing of the form is not sufficient.
I see. Okay. Also, they have some Islamic finance observers have stated that Islamic finance currently is still work in progress.
Yes.
So that is why this aspect is still excusable. And taking that imperfect steps in the direction of a holistic Islamic financial system is better than nothing. So what do you have to say about this substantial argument?
Yeah, I believe that there are at least two approaches in developing Islamic finance globally. Some countries try to develop the full Islamic financial systems like Iran and Sudan. And some other countries try to be more flexible and more gradual approach, whereby Islamic banking and conventional Islamic banking and finance and conventional banking and finance exist side by side, and we can see most of the countries are applying this approach, like Malaysia and Indonesia. For me, we cannot see that one approach is better than another approach, because it's much depend on the situation of the country, condition of the country, the political side, social, cultural, and then of course the economic perspective as well. So I believe that Malaysia, for example, Malaysia might not reach this considerable level of achievement in developing Islamic finance if in the very beginning insist to apply full Islamic financial system and try to abolish every single of conventional counterpart. But we can see that Malaysia now leading in the Islamic finance sector. It's because Malaysia know better how the approach that can be taken and to be implemented in the country with various religions, with diverse culture and so on.
Okay, thank you. As for Dr. Hafaz, right? Okay, so if Islamic finance continues to replicate the conventional financial products, like what it's been practiced now, okay, where do you foresee Islamic finance in the next 20 years?
Okay.
Being a younger generation of Islamic finance.
Okay, for me, I think the massive replications of conventional product and structure is not really good for future development. This is for two reasons. At the level of thought, for example, this create some confusions and also some misconceptions about the difference, the difference between the Islamic and conventional products. And also at the level of practice, we could see there are some dispute has been occurred, and also some cases have been brought to the court because of this incongruencies or discrepancies between the ideals and the realities, the conception and the realities. So I think for sustainable development of the industry, this replication will distort its sustainability. This is because sustainability requires creative innovations. And I think creative innovations comes from ideas. So this clearly shows that ideas are not really there.
So you are saying that the modern day Islamic banking and finance are lacking in innovative ideas?
Yeah, I think we need to put more efforts in developing our unique products that could differentiate us to the conventionals, so that people can really see that this is really Islamic
products.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. And as for Mahbubi, okay, they have this very famous statement that says that, you know, if Islamic finance does not continue to replicate the conventional ones, okay, this would actually render Islamic finance institution as unprofitable, and this may actually bring Islamic finance projects to a grinding halt. Is that true?
I don't think so, because there are many wide room to be tapped in the market. Some project like microfinance, halal industry, and other. So we can see the development of Islamic finance now currently is more toward replicating and modification to Islamic finance, to conventional system. We are lacking in the innovative, in the creating a very genuine product. That we can see that basically the nature and the characteristic of Islamic finance as compared to conventional is more risk sharing, but the contract that based on risk sharing are not fully utilized, like contract of mudharaba and musharaka. Some scholars argue that if we can apply and implement like equity based contract in the proper manner and proper way, I think it will be give a very profitable and efficient in nature.
So you believe that there are many other areas that have not been tapped yet by Islamic finance,
exactly.
and if there is no need to replicate the conventional financing for them to actually be profitable.
Yeah.
Okay, a very interesting question. Being a young scholar in the making, with your fresh insights and perspectives, and what do you think are the current pressing issues faced in the Islamic finance industry, and how do you think these issues can be tackled for Islamic finance to move forward? Yes.
I think the most crucial thing is human capital. Now we see that almost the people in the industry are people that have a very solid background in finance, in technical aspect, but they are lacking in terms of Sharia understandings. So moving forward, basically we need human capital that have a holistic understanding on Sharia as well as finance from the theoretical perspective as well as practical aspect. And the second pressing issue that we need to be tackled is about the need of standardized regulation. We need
standardized
regulation for Islamic finance. We need to ensure that the regulation framework and the supervisory framework for Islamic finance is inconsistent with the global regulatory framework, because we know that Islamic finance is something that integrated with the global financial systems. So we need to make sure that this is in line. The third pressing issue is about the harmonization of fatwa.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't want to see that we need to standardize, because it is something impossible for me, because disagreement is something natural.
And this is actually something that is recommended in Islam as well.
Yes,
right?
of course. The most important thing, how to harmonize some fatwa that have a meeting point, and then how to respect each other for the fatwa that, of course, we cannot reconcile or compromise. I remember Hassan al-Banna said, نتعاون فيما اتفقنا ويعذر بعضنا بعضا فيما اختلفنا. We need to support each opinion that we have agreed, but we need to respect each other for the opinion we disagree.
I see. Okay.
Another point that we need to think about the centralized Sharia board or Sharia committee in the international level. So to make the Sharia committee decision is more unitized, and we can avoid many disagreement and confusion in the market.
Okay, thank you, Mahboobi, for the extremely detailed explanation. So, Dr. Hafaz, is there any other aspects that you think that you can add after Mahboobi has mentioned the centralized Sharia board, human capital with holistic understanding? Anything more important that you think that you can add to this aspect of the question?
Yeah, basically, I agree with the detailed explanations of Brother Mahboobi. So what we need actually is about the system itself. We need to create an Islamic financial system. So currently we are still working within the dominant financial system, which is the capitalist financial systems. And Islamic finance is still not yet visible to be a system of finance that is going to be an alternative to this failed system, which is many people have said that because of we have financial crisis, which is and because of the instability created by this system, people are expecting an alternative to that system.
Okay, but the fact that actually Islamic finance is replicating a failed system, how do you foresee the growth of Islamic finance?
Yeah, that's why I think we need to think about creating a new system which is based on the Islamic principles and Islamic value systems. That's why we need to have a systematic agenda of creating these systems, and we need to put a systematic effort actually to do systematic reforms to this system, which and this is actually not something new, because people are hoping for this alternative financial systems that could bring justice to, that could help the poor, for example, that could distribute resources justly, and that is concerned about the environment and also responsibility to the society and so on and so forth.
Thank you very much for the extremely interesting inputs from both Dr. Hafaz and Mahboobi. As for the viewers, do not go anywhere, as we will now be having a short commercial break.